We gotta talk about David.
It has been almost a month since the David situation began to unfold, where the body of a 14-year-old girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez was found dismembered in the back of his Tesla after it was abandoned blocks from his Airbnb that he was renting and subsequently impounded in Los Angeles while he was on tour.
David. Body in a Tesla.
Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been laid to rest. TMZ acquired photos today from the Los Angeles cemetery where the teen's loved ones held a graveside service. This is 28 days after her body was found in the trunk of an impounded car belonging to the pop star known as David, spelled with a 4.
It's a vibe.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to another episode of JEJE Vibe.
Bye-bye.
You know I got my amazing queen with me.
Thanks, my love, my handsome boo.
You already know it's Lewis and Gabriel. If you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe. Where else would you rather be? Welcome to JEJE Vibe. We gotta talk about David. Body in a Tesla.
It has been almost a month since the David situation began to unfold, where the body of a 14-year-old girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez was found dismembered in the back of his Tesla after it was abandoned blocks from his Airbnb that he was renting and subsequently impounded in Los Angeles while he was on tour.
Where it was is kind of like a strategic area where there's only, see that road right there wraps around to the right and then it connects again to the main road. So there's not too many people that will walk by it. And these hedges on this house are so high that it really takes out people walking on the other side of the vehicle. So I don't know if it was actually done strategically, but if you're going to leave it somewhere else, it's as good a place to leave it as any.
A minor case has not become a major case.
Yep.
That's a double ton.
It is a device.
You already know, we don't get humble. Dealing with a minor case, but now it's a major case.
And despite him trying to completely ignore the situation at first, continuing his shows, his tour has now been cancelled, the singer has lawyered up, and David is now apparently in full cooperation with the authorities.
Investigators have not publicly linked David to the teen's death. Celeste's family says she had a boyfriend named David and several social media pictures linking them.
And since this all went down, people have posted countless videos, Discord messages, and TikTok and Instagram posts from David and even allegedly Celeste trying to piece together this whole story.
We all just sitting down, relaxing when we heard the news.
Yep.
Fuck up our evening, man. Like, what are we hearing right now? Why has this been going on and nobody
Has been arrested yet?
This is crazy. So let's hear.
The David story, spelled D4VD. And so far we've learned that Celeste Rivas, a teenage girl, was found in the front trunk of an impounded Tesla registered to him. Within 48 hours, LAPD searched the Hollywood Hills home David was staying at and seized multiple devices. And now the internet's been asking a lot of questions, but the biggest one is, why hasn't David been arrested yet? And why is this process taking so long? By now, you've probably seen the headlines. Celeste Rivas, a teenage girl, was identified after her remains were found in the front trunk of a Tesla registered to popular singer David. The car had been towed to a Hollywood impound. And that's when staff noticed a foul odor, opened the front trunk, and made the discovery. Since then, detectives executed a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where he'd been staying at and seized electronics. Popular brands who partnered with David like Hollister for campaigns pulled back, and his world tour was also put on pause.
This is crazy. He was already on a world tour. Like, I'm not really familiar with David.
I didn't even know who he was until this news circulated.
I'm hearing that they call him like the next Frank Ocean, which is disappointing. Like, come on, guys, don't play with Frank Ocean's name.
Terrible.
Like, just leave Frank Ocean for where he is and just let people be themselves as they grow in the art. But this is another twist in the art form.
Mm-hmm.
This is another twisted part of the art form where there's a dark and sinister story behind the art.
Mm-hmm.
Romantic H Word was released on September 7th, and the police connected that to Celeste's birthday, as it looks like David posted this song as a message to her in 2022. And when you check the lyrics, it gets even weirder, as the lyrics say, "In the back of my mind, you passed. In the back of my mind, I got you. And I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, but it's true." As we saw David break down the lyrics from the song in his Genius interview.
In the back of my mind, you died. It's kind of like the storytelling aspect of the lyrics that came before it, in a way that it builds up to the big moment where she back of my mind. Like, I didn't physically, but in the back of my mind, she and I didn't even cry, not a single tear.
Some fans think it's a reach, but you can't deny how weird it is.
Crashing. Where'd it go wrong? Ghost. Where did you go? Afterlife.
The imagery, the type of music. Now going back to, because of this case, I had to go listen to his songs so I can get familiar with, well, who we're talking about. He has a huge following.
We didn't even know. I didn't even know. I guess for people that have bad taste in music,
it's crazy. Like, how can you have this amount of following and yet I don't even know you?
And then even with that, the music is shitty too.
Oh, okay, they said he's a TikTok star. So I guess this is what you expect from TikTok. People just get what they get on TikTok, and they think is you're still not big enough.
No,
like, for us to not know you, and now we're knowing
and you're nothing but a TikTok star.
Crazy. And you're on a minor case, because right now you're really a minor case because we don't know you, and you're literally on a minor case. Which is crazy.
That happens to be a major case.
A major case. Like, this is crazy. Like, how is this happening? How? And this has been happening for years, and this girl was missing for a whole year.
What we do know now is that Celeste was no stranger to running away from home, and she began doing so when she was only 12 years old. This footage is believed to capture the last time that she would do so. Obtained from the security camera of a nearby liquor store at 7 in the morning, you see her wearing a black hoodie with white sweatpants.
David was living in the Hollywood area, which is where she was found back in February, just a month before.
The owner of the liquor store would go on to describe her as a shy girl who got too caught up in the pitfalls of social media and the internet.
When she missing first time, her sister coming here asked me, and we start looking at the camera to find out where she go and if we can find anything to get her back.
He says that she would come into his store on a weekly basis to purchase things like gum, soda, and candy. And I really think he makes a great point here that social media is now raising like this whole generation of kids despite what their parents try to do. It's like the influence at this point is just too strong. So to me, it is extremely easy to see how a kid could become enamored by the fame and status that someone like David has, especially if she came from what some might describe as a broken home.
Why is he harboring a minor, a preteen? Why?
Is that not even enough for him to be arrested by now, before you now figure out who? Because everything is pointing to him. Like, it's beginning to look like
And then he made a song out of it too.
Like everything is beginning to point to him. Like he's putting the clues out there.
Yet he's still not arrested.
This is crazy work.
Why hasn't David been arrested yet? And what's actually happening behind the scenes? Let me walk you through this step by step. Here's what we know so far. According to the authorities, the Tesla was registered to David Burke, which is David's real name. The body inside was severely decomposed to the point where it's been difficult for the medical examiners to determine exactly what happened or how she died. Police also stated that the body had been in that Tesla for an extended period of time, though they did not specify exactly how long. In connection with this, we also know that the Tesla was towed to Hollywood Tow after it was reported abandoned. According to NBC Los Angeles, neighbors said the car had been parked there for more than a month before it was finally taken away. That explains why the smell was so overwhelming. When a body decomposes in a closed space like a car, gases build up and the odor is impossible to ignore. Believe it or not, that's actually one of the most common ways police discover remains in cases like this.
When the police found the body in the Tesla, they knew that it was the pop star David's Tesla. And then they said that, oh, she had a matching tattoo with David that said shh. Why would they reveal that and not the one that says David on her finger? That would not be the easiest connection ever. Like, oh, okay, this car belongs to David, body in the car. Oh yeah, her finger says David. Like that seems like really, really crucial evidence. That's just where something doesn't really match up for me. While reviewing this edit, I had another thought about this whole ring finger situation. The police did reveal that the body was dismembered or cut up. We don't know to what extent, how bad it was, or what was missing, but it makes me think if potentially the left ring finger or maybe the left hand was missing as a potential way to cover up the evidence, this would be some insane level, like serial killer, premeditated murder type stuff. The tattoo wasn't real and maybe it was a temporary tattoo, or this could be Celeste and she had both tattoos. She had shh on this finger and then she had David's name on her ring finger. But if that were true, then it makes the police report incredibly confusing.
Crazy.
The LAPD said it is very likely she was dead for several weeks prior to her being discovered. Her brother told police David regularly picked Celeste up in the same Tesla she was found dead in.
This is crazy work.
Crazy.
Countless photos and videos were resurfaced where the two appeared to be close friends, if not possibly a couple. And one of the last times she was ever seen in public, she was backstage at one of his concerts.
Crazy.
We also now know that this photo of David standing with two teenagers was taken less than 0.3 miles away from Celeste's home. There has also been quotes from people who claim to have run in the same circles as David in LA, claiming that they saw him and Celeste together at parties, and that they did present as boyfriend and girlfriend.
And there seems to be a consensus that people believed that David and Celeste were boyfriend-girlfriend.
The claimants go on to say that they thought that she was a 19-year-old student going to school at USC, and the places they would be partying were intended for a more mature scene that would require someone to be at least 18 years old. Also claiming that she frequently wore a jacket with her hood up, so it was hard to gauge her true age.
We also know that Celeste Rivas was 14 at the time of her death. She would have turned 15 on September 7, 2025.
Crazy work.
And when the news came out that she was only a 14-year-old child, they could not believe that because she also presented herself very maturely.
And that based on David's reserved, more shy demeanor, they never really thought anything of it. And law enforcement has also confirmed that she did have multiple fake IDs.
And they say she had numerous fake IDs.
Crazy.
And there had also been a lot of speculation online that she might have been pregnant. These rumors came about from screenshots from David's Discord where he says that he and some other user have a kid on the way. But this has been debunked by the medical examiner in the situation, as it has been proven that she was not and had not been pregnant in the last year. We also know that her body was decomposing for at least a couple of weeks before it was eventually found. But the cause of death is still undetermined at this time due to the lack of a toxicology report.
Like, how is this happening?
But it was confirmed she died at 14, not 15. And just to clear something up, early on, the medical examiner's office listed her as 15. Now, the medical examiner office also confirmed how she was found. Celeste was wearing a tube top and small black leggings. She was described as having wavy black hair with a metal stud earring and a yellow metal chain bracelet.
And the so-called suspects are not even in custody. Like, what are we doing? Like, is this not like a already crazy crime for you guys to like say, man, nah, we need to get this guy out of the streets right now. This guy is a danger to society.
An investigation into the death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas continues as the LA County Medical Examiner confirms her remains have now been released to her family for memorial services. That could indicate a cause of death has been determined, but that information has not been released. This more than 2 weeks after Rivas's dismembered and decomposing body was found at a tow yard inside a Tesla registered to singer David.
It's an ongoing investigation. We have a lot of resources dedicated to bringing it to a conclusion.
Like, everything is pointing
You would think that they would do their jobs.
Even though the cause of death hasn't been released or determined yet because of the condition of the remains, one outlet, the Los Angeles Times, has reported that the authorities are treating it as a homicide. Now, to be clear, investigators still don't know who's responsible, but that's exactly what they're looking to uncover right now, and those answers will come out as the case develops.
Like, only just the fact of a minor case, it should be a major case that you guys go in and take care of quickly.
They are busy dealing with things that are not even necessary.
LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell speaking with Eyewitness News yesterday about the relationship between 20-year-old David and Rivas, who just turned 15 this month.
There are discussions that they might have had a relationship. Would you investigate that relationship as a possibility? Because it could be illegal to have a relationship with somebody that age.
Yeah, certainly. Whenever you investigate a homicide, the detectives look at all of the associated issues as well. In this case, that's something that they would be looking at.
Like, what are we doing?
And now let's get to the actual investigation and why David hasn't been arrested yet. Within hours of Celeste being identified, LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division served a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where David had been staying. The home located at an upscale neighborhood on Doheny Drive, just north of Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles. And David actually doesn't own the property, but sources say detectives went in and walked out with computers and electronics. This was the first major sign that the police are actively digging into his world.
Investigators took a computer as they searched a Hollywood Hills home where David has recently stayed.
So right now, there's obviously a connection between David and Celeste. Her mother, of course, confirmed she had a boyfriend named David, and people have pointed out things like the matching tattoos, and there's of course a bunch of photos of them together online that have surfaced along with a live stream clip. But here's the reality. Investigators are still trying to figure out just how deep that connection goes, and that's the part we don't know yet. On one hand, the Tesla was in fact registered to David, and her body was discovered inside. On the other hand, police sources have said it's one of several vehicles linked to David, and that multiple people had access to those cars at different times. If you don't understand what that means, basically most celebrities don't just, drive their own cars every single day. Their vehicles might be used by friends, family, staff, managers, drivers, or borrowed for errands. So just because the car, the Tesla, was in David's name doesn't automatically prove that he was the one behind the wheel or the one who put Celeste there.
Either way, the owner of the car has to be responsible for it.
Like, what are we doing?
Can't just rely on paperwork. They need hard proof. It's not enough to point to the registration. They need forensic evidence and a clear timeline that ties a specific person to that trunk. Without that, an arrest could fall apart in court.
Either way, it still doesn't change the fact that the lyrics of the song is very suspicious.
The singer, who was on tour, has now canceled all of his shows, but has not commented on the investigation. As he remains silent, his fans are loud online, critiquing his lyrics and music videos that feature gory imagery and themes. One of his most popular songs, titled Romantic Homicide. And take a look at this video for One More Dance.
The heavier the snow.
What appears to be a blindfolded David in a bloodied shirt standing by as two people put a body into the trunk of a car. And this anime video for David's song Rehab, depicting a girl's arm being cut off.
Okay, let's just go off the fact that this was a minor case.
There has also been a video obtained that shows Celeste in a shouting match with a neighbor around a year ago.
You gonna let a woman talk? Alright, I'm not gonna let your woman talk. Ain't nobody black right here, homie. We're Southsiders right here, homie. We're Southsiders here. Get it right, homegirl. Shut up with your black talking. You ain't gonna do shit. You better get over there. Get your
This footage appears to be captured on a security doorbell camera, and it really just puts on display like the type of environment that she was living in at the time. Also, a kid named Damien has come forward and he claims to have dated Celeste in the past, and he spoke about their relationship and her life at home.
Her mom didn't treat her well or whatever, and she didn't like where she was at. We were at PE, and she told me and my friend that she was running away, and she said it was because of her parents.
I mean, this whole situation really is sick. Like, this kid is talking about being in PE together, and then within weeks, Celeste was running around the hills of Hollywood doing things that a kid has no business being involved in. The local police have also come forward to say that they were called 33 times in the last 3 years to Celeste's home, so we are kind of piecing together what her home life was really like and possibly why she was running away time and time again.
At least, like this, obviously, so many.
David's manager, Josh Marshall, has also spoken out through a TikTok comment where he tries to debunk the idea that he knew anything about David and Celeste's potential relationship, as the woman in this video claimed that they all lived together for some time at the Airbnb that has now been totally investigated.
A family friend of Celeste Rivas Hernandez sent an email to Josh Marshall, who is David's manager and roommate, back in 2024, February 2024, and in the email was the missing persons report of Celeste and all of her information, and it said, "We know Celeste is living with you guys. She needs to return home." One day later, Celeste returned home. And then a month after that, she went back to living with David and his roommate, Josh Marshall. So Josh Marshall was well aware of Celeste Rivas Hernandez's age and that she was a missing child.
And he responded to that by saying, "This video is false and the person is misinformed. This is the only time I'll speak on the matter for now. This has been a tough time for my family as I am the father of 3 children. I receive no emails and I'm no one's roommate. I live full-time at home with my wife and kids." Now keep in mind, this guy is well tapped into the music industry, spotting and representing the likes of Little Mosey, Ruby Rose, and Smoke Perp. Now why this guy would choose some random, like not very viral TikTok to make this sort of comment, I do not know. But this is pretty much the only statement we have from anyone involved with David.
And that leads us to where the case stands right now. At the stage, police are retracing Celeste's final days and digging through the devices they seized. They're also patiently waiting on forensics to close the gaps. And
why didn't they arrest the boy
case that holds up in
when he was harboring a missing girl? What is the purpose of the Amber Alert, really?
You would think.
We do know now that the family of Celeste Rivas has her remains and is now one step closer to laying her to rest. But what we still don't know is how Celeste Rivas died, who did it, and why.
Because at this time, there are no public suspects. There's no one who's a public person of interest. And I want to make it very clear that David has not been cleared by the police by any stretch of the imagination.
What you guys think about David? Body in a Tesla? Drop a comment and let us know. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Where else would you rather get your information from?
In JEJE Vibe.
See you in the next one. JEJE Vibe.
It's JEJE Vibe.
Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been laid to rest. TMZ acquired photos today from the Los Angeles cemetery where the teen's loved ones held a graveside service. This is 28 days after her body was found in the trunk of an impounded car belonging to the pop star known as David, spelled with a 4.
So there'd been a lot of talk about Celeste's funeral when it was taking place. There was rumors that it had been delayed, but no doubt this was something that the family wanted to keep secret. There's so much public interest in this story, but the funeral did take place. It seemingly took place in private. I feel like the family probably have been getting harassed to an insane degree. But they were able to lay Celeste to rest in this ceremony that was carried out in California. It looks like quite a small ceremony. It looks quite private and small. Probably just very, very close family members that would have been invited there for that. Some backstory about the funeral. It says Celeste Rivas, the teen girl who was found dead in a Tesla belonging to David, was laid to rest on Monday. Her casket was being seen carried by mourners at the funeral service, which was held in a white tent on the cemetery lawn in photos obtained by the Daily Mail. It took place surrounded by family and friends at the Queen of Heaven Cemetery and Mortuary in Rowland Heights, California. The family appeared to be trying to keep the funeral as secret as possible by shielding it from view in the tent. Mourners dressed in all black and were seen with pained expressions and faces lowered as they carried Celeste's gleaming white casket while dressed in somber all black. Several funeral attendees were also seen carrying large flower bouquets to be left by the graveside. And then this kind of recaps some of the information. There's some more pictures of the service there. And then this is just recapping a lot of information that we already knew, but they've got photos of the cemetery, you know, they've got the tent, they've got all of the information. It says here, the family appear to be trying to keep the funeral secret as possible by shielding it from view in the tent. And it's really sad that this is the, you know, what they've had to do in this instance.
So was David among those mourners paying respects to a chronic runaway whom everybody saw as his girlfriend, even though she was 14 years old at most? He was not. Where he was, we don't know. Just like we don't know where he's been since he came off a world tour prematurely after a day-long police search of his house in the Hollywood Hills. Now, as you know, if you followed our coverage, David moved out of that house a week later, his manager breaking a $20,000 a month lease. But apparently, both David and the police, they left a bunch of stuff behind. And if it wasn't junk before, it is now. Our team was there late last week when crews were hauling out boxes and crates and bags and throwing them in a trailer. It was a very different scene from the actual move conducted by actual movers the week before. And reportedly, it was arranged by the landlord, who's understandably quite eager to sign a new tenant.